Freedom Cruiser gone rogue. How one entitled neighbor turned my DEA lab into a federal crisis. The scent of cheap margaritas still hung in the air when my phone rang. Your camper's gone. I thought it was a joke. Until I saw the photo. Brenda, oversized sunglasses, straw hat, and a tank top that read Hot Mess Express, was posing with a margarita in one hand. Her tiny dog in the other, in front of my DEA mobile lab. She'd captioned it, "Road tripping in style, baby." That's when I realized. Brenda hadn't just taken my camper. She'd hijacked an active federal operations lab, crossed state lines, and live-streamed the whole thing for every cartel surveillance network to see. Let's rewind. I'm not your average guy with a weekend RV. I'm a field technician for the Drug Enforcement Agency, embedded in a mobile surveillance unit. My vehicle may have looked like a battered camper from the outside, but inside, it held forensic gear, surveillance tech, secure data uplinks, the kind of hardware that doesn't just disappear without a dozen people in Washington noticing. My cover in Larkspur Estates was simple. A quiet federal agriculture consultant with a love of solo camping. I played the role well, grew out a beard, wore bucket hats, kept to myself. No one, not even the HOA, knew what that vehicle actually was. No one but Brenda, or at least she thought she did. She'd been griping about the camper since I moved in. "It's an eyesore," she complained. "Too close to the sidewalk. What are you doing in there, cooking meth?" She'd laughed like it was a joke. It wasn't. I always responded politely but firmly. "It's not safe. It's federal property. Please don't go near it." Brenda was the kind of person who saw rules as optional, especially if she thought she could twist them in her favor. She'd been fined for everything from illegal rose bushes to hosting a New Year's party in someone else's driveway. Once, she even planted a pink plastic flamingo in my flower bed as a passive-aggressive protest. The week before the theft, Brenda had been especially nosy. She caught sight of me loading a secure sample case into the camper and chirped, "Going fishing?" I didn't answer. What I'd actually loaded was a fentanyl derivative from a recent bust. Dangerous stuff. The lab was secure with biometric locks, hidden GPS, motion sensors. Still, I added an alert to my phone. 3 days later, that alert triggered. The footage wasn't perfect, but it was enough. Brenda, toolbox in hand, opening the gate, punching in a code, entering the lab. I later learned she'd watched me enter it once while pretending to walk her dog, then guessed the rest from keypad smudges. The gall was infuriating. The implications were catastrophic. That camper held encrypted cartel data, names, coordinates, intel tied to a sensitive Gulf operation. It wasn't just theft now. It was an intelligence breach. I called my handler. "You need to track it." A beat. Then, "We've already seen it." She posted it on TikTok. The video showed Brenda and her friends Cheryl and Tanya sipping margaritas inside my mobile lab, laughing about the comfy leather seats. My red alert monitors blinked in the background. One woman used the forensic workstation as a snack tray. She'd unplugged the GPS, called it the beeping annoyance, covered the plates with a beach towel. But what she didn't realize was that the system still pinged satellite bursts whenever it detected movement. That gave us partial glimpses, a fireworks stand, a beach motel, a discount spa. It was like Real Housewives meets national security. The agency panicked because the camper had been flagged as temporarily inactive for local ops. It wasn't under 24/7 guard. My assumption that no one would be dumb enough to steal it was now a national liability. Worse, Brenda had no clue what she was messing with. She thought she'd won some HOA war about RVs. Meanwhile, the cartel we'd been monitoring started reacting. Comments started flooding our encrypted feed in Spanish. "That's the van. Find her." My handler looked up. "You'll love this." She just geotagged herself at the Blue Water Parade in Sable County, wearing DEA sunglasses she found in the glove box. I nearly flipped the table. She was wearing government gear. In public. With cartel lookouts online. I volunteered to extract. Not out of revenge, but because it was damage control now. Brenda's road trip wasn't going to end in HOA complaints. If we weren't careful, it would end in blood. By the time I boarded the surveillance chopper, she had posted 2 more videos. One from the lab shower, another from the rooftop ladder, yelling, "America, baby." "She's officially the most dangerous idiot in the country," I muttered. The camper was now dubbed Freedom Cruiser by Brenda. She cruised down Route 17, smoothie in one hand, phone in the other. her friends tossing trail mix around like it was a yoga retreat. She had no clue that the fridge was a compound stabilizer, or that the cool drawers held narcotic samples from a cartel border bust. She also had no idea she was triggering passive security logs with every button push. Meanwhile, the agency was moving. We tracked her to a gas station in Little Haven. A known cartel associate had been spotted nearby. I arrived in Sable County and met with Deputy Marty, a man shaped like a donut and equally round in thought. She stole what now? He asked. A mobile DEA lab. He blinked. She's toast. We monitored her next post, Brenda tagging herself at a bingo parlor/foot spa. One friend had already opened a labeled container and spilled heat-sealed narcotics across the carpet. At HQ, analysts freaked. One video showed Brenda panning across the lab's tech. She zoomed in on a blinking laptop, one that held informant records. She giggled. This thing looks straight out of CSI. We knew it couldn't go further. My handler's voice came in. Next stop's Pelican Shore Beach Carnival. She posted it. We're bringing the party to the sand, babes. But the video also revealed something else, a still figure in the crowd. Dark sunglasses. Holding up a phone. Cartel scout. We upgraded the mission. From track and monitor to intercept and contain. We coordinated with local officers. A soft perimeter around the carnival. No sirens. No panic. Just cover and retrieval. The camper arrived like a clown car, crashing a Bond movie. Glitter streamers. Inflatable flamingos. Techno music. Pop-up lawn chairs. Painted across the side in nail polish. Brenda's Freedom Bus. Brenda gave a speech on a folding table. Let this be the summer we reclaim freedom from HOAs and curfews. The crowd cheered, thinking it was performance art. But I saw the signs. 2 scouts at opposite ends. Phones. Earpieces. They were waiting to confirm. Not for Brenda, but for the camper. And then it happened. Brenda live-streamed again, showing off her lab. She opened a back panel. I watched in horror as she pried loose a vault drawer using a metal spatula. Vials tumbled onto the floor. My handler whispered, "Contain it. Now." I signaled to Deputy Marty. He clicked his radio. Our agents moved into position. I approached from behind. Brenda was mid-live stream. "Oh, look. It's Mr. Grumpy Camper," she shouted. I didn't speak. I reached forward and shut off the live stream. The mood shifted. Brenda blinked. "Wait, is this about the camper?" "Brenda," I said flatly, "you stole a federal mobile lab. You tampered with narcotics. You exposed classified files. And you brought it to a public beach." She laughed. "It was unlocked. You pried the gate with a crowbar." Semantics. Agents closed in. The crowd clapped, thinking it was theater. But then we heard the call. "We've got movement." 2 cartel scouts moved fast toward the camper. One reached inside his jacket. "Go loud," I shouted. Everything erupted. Agents tackled one. Another got tasered. Kids screamed. Families scattered. Brenda shrieked, "Are they with you too?" Within 20 minutes, the carnival was cleared. The camper was sealed. Brenda cuffed and taken to a holding cell. Her smugness was gone. Back at the command center, I reviewed footage. Flamingos. Glitter. Salsa stains on biometric pads. A granola bar jammed into a scanner. One USB drive had been removed, plugged into Tanya's laptop to check for music. That single action had triggered a ping in Central America, a known cartel node. The breach was confirmed. Brenda was interrogated. "I thought it was abandoned," she said. "You broke a lock. It was rusted. Do you know what Schedule 2 means? Some kind of weight loss thing?" She was charged with theft of government property, unauthorized access to federal systems, reckless endangerment, and more. She claimed, "I just wanted a vacation." Her trial was swift. The jury saw the live streams, the spilled samples, the wine glass and a microscope stand. Her defense? "I thought it was aesthetic. Guilty on all counts. 7 years. Eligible for parole after 5. As she was led away, she shouted, "I know the mayor." No one cared. Online, her mugshot became a meme. From HOA queen to federal scene. Reddit called her the Margarita Mole. But it wasn't all bad. Her breach accidentally exposed a cartel communications cell. With the intel recovered, we took down 10 operatives across 3 cities. Major supply lines shut down. Ironically, Brenda's chaos had delivered us the final key. I got promoted, lead mobile ops supervisor. My new lab? Camouflaged as a pest control van. Months later, I drove by the old neighborhood. Brenda's house had new owners. No flamingos. No parties. Just a couple grilling in peace. I smiled as I passed the gate, now reinforced with steel and drones. For a second, I almost missed the chaos. Almost.